Hello, and welcome to the first official Home Button podcast, Bark the Police. I'm your host, Matt. Joining me this week is Emilio.
Hey!
Jean-Luc.
Hello!
And it would have been Ed, but he doesn't have a picture, and he has to pick up his girlfriend. Things happen.
Again.
Yeah, that happens. So, let me just introduce you guys to kind of what the idea of this podcast is. The podcast is for us to kind of have a focused discussion about something big in gaming news or a trend in gaming or something we think is like has a lot of discussion around it that we want to get our thoughts out about. Because on the Home Button proper, we're kind of we're focusing on the game that we're playing and joking around with that. So we kind of want to have a discussion around just anything big that's happening in gaming because we don't always get to do that. So this is going to go up every week. We're going to do this, and we're going to have a rotating cast of people. I'm going to be the host every week, but we'll have different people on each time. Pretty much everyone from the show, so we'll rotate in Gabe and Nate, and Ed would have been here, but Ed is, just...
He's getting old.
I don't think he knows how to use technology. He's really out of it, He's just... it's a shame to see his, his mind go like this.
He's gonna have to see this, and he's going to be like,
he won't be able to find it though. He's like, how do I type in on the?
This is my first
computer
content that I'm in Ireland. So.
Oh yeah, Emilio. So Emilio's remote in Ireland. So right now for him it's like 6:30 p.m.
It's 6:30 right now. Yeah, I'm gonna eat
the Home Button Ireland office.
The Home Button Ireland.
We're international
yes,
now.
We will definitely have someone there all the time.
I'm being put up by Champlain College.
Champlain College. So this episode, I guess I should talk about what this episode is going to be about. It's going to be about 2015. The con is on.
Use jokes from other podcasts. Nailed it.
Oh, damn it. I didn't have my sound effects ready.
So we're going to talk about what we're excited about and also what we might think might suck. Because after 2014, I think we can all say we are not under any disillusion that big games can come out and crash and burn in a beautiful fire. I'm sorry, Amelia, one more time and say it a little bit louder.
That was my beautiful fire. I was trying to go.
It was good.
It was stupid, I know.
Who wants to go first?
I can talk about.
You have a list.
I have a big list. Yeah.
Why don't you go then?
I'll go. I'm going to list all of my hyped things. There's about 15 of them here, I think.
Jesus Christ! And then we can talk about whatever what you're most you're most hyped about.
I'll go through the list and then I'll talk about a couple of the ones that I'm really excited for.
Yeah.
So what I'm hyped for this year is Hyper Light Drifter.
Oh hell yeah!
What is it?
Hyper Light.
Hype.
Hyper Light Drifter. Hype. Hyper Light Drifter. It's indie game. I don't know who's making it. I can't remember the name of the studio.
Do we know when it's coming out?
Heart Machine. There's no date yet because they got so overfunded they wanted to make it more.
I'm full in support of that.
Right? Yeah, they're like, oh, maybe a PS4 version. So.
There is, yeah.
So yeah, Heart Machine's making that. Next one's No Man's Sky. I think that one kind of goes without being said.
Okay.
That one's...
Let's get right into the disappointments then. No Man's Sky.
Suck. So it's on my possible disappointment list as well. And I'll get to that in a little bit.
No, let's talk about it now. I'm down. We're talking about No Man's Sky.
Yeah, all right. Hyper Light Drifter. Hyper Light Drifter is a very ambitious game. With a lot to lose.
I feel like every time I hear about it, I know what it is, and then I forget.
But you mean No Man's Sky, right? We're talking about Emilio.
No Man's.
Oh, did we lose Emilio?
No, he's there. He's just laggy a little bit.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm here. My bad. No Man's Sky is what I meant to say.
Okay, I was confused.
Yes. All right, I was like, what?
I misspoke. I apologize.
All right.
It's open galaxy kind of go wherever you want sandbox. Not a lot else is known about it. Fly around, cool creatures. I don't know. It's cool.
It could potentially be the greatest game ever made.
Or it could be the next Spore.
Destiny?
Spore.
Spore.
Yeah, Spore's an app comparison.
Yeah.
As long as they...
I'm just worried about it, because, like, I don't know. I guess 2014 didn't do a lot of favors for like, big-budget games.
To be fair, I don't feel like it's their... Like, they haven't been overhyping the game. I feel like they haven't been showing that much.
People around them have been...
In turn... Well, yeah, maybe Sony has, but I feel like most of the hype comes from people's... Because they're not showing as much of the game, people are creating their own expectations for it, and then it becomes just like, oh, it's going to be the greatest thing ever, and they're like, just sitting there like, we didn't say, oh, God, now they think it's this crazy thing.
Right, yeah. But yeah, it has a lot to lose, and the reason... part of why I'm afraid for it is because it started out as a 4-man team. Sony, I think Sony's been the ones that have been kind of like hedge funding the game, basically, just like pouring money into it because they have the exclusivity deal the timed exclusivity deal and all that stuff. So they're really trying to get it out there, like get it first on PS4. The team is bigger because we're funding the game more. I just don't want the game to lose the heart that it's had, but at the same time, it feels like that game needs kind of a bigger team. I'm just kind of worried, there was a lot that happened last year.
It's possible they have a bigger team, because I know they were kind of working on it in the background.
No, they do. But that's like part of, like, I know it needs a bigger team, but I'm afraid because of that.
Oh, like it could lose some of the magic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So
I don't think it'll get too big, though. I think what they mean by bigger team is the rest of that studio, I forget their name, is just working on it now, because they were kind of working on the side.
Joe Danger, right?
It's the Joe Danger people. I think they were making a Joe Danger or another game.
Those?
I never did, but I heard they were very good.
I played them on the iPad, those new
Hello games.
Hello games, yes.
Those were great. Like, those were like my favorite iPad games. They were awesome. Oh wait, I should say my piece about Hyper Light Drift. Not Hyper Light Drift. No Man's Sky.
Hyper Light Drift is just on the mind right now.
It's because hype. It's so hyped. It's so hyped for Light Drifted. To your mind space and back here. No Man's. I feel like is a lot like when I was playing Minecraft the other day. I was like, because like there's so many moments in Minecraft where we're just walking around. You're like, this is so cool. Like there's just things like there's just like creatures and stuff happening. If it's just like you're wandering around the galaxy and then you land on a planet, there's some cool stuff there that you don't see. You know what I mean? Like if they really have enough, I guess like my concern, because like I kind of get game development, since that's like what I want to do, is like if they just have enough like actual assets of like different creatures and different like if they have enough things that the random generation can really feel like every time you go to a planet you're really discovering a new planet, that would be so cool.
Yeah, it's like a casual kind of game, just sort of like, you're not doing anything crazy, you're just like, I'm just going to planets, checking some things out.
Right.
Yeah.
But, like, at the same time, like, I've seen kind of some of the assets and, like, some of the developer commentary stuff that's come out, and, like, I keep looking at, like, the computer, and it's like this one page of, like, a purple rhinoceros, and then, like, 70 variants of that purple rhinoceros, and I'm like, that doesn't sound interesting. Like, cool. Oh, like this is like these are different modifiers that creature can have, and you'll see that creature on certain planets. Like, not interesting. Like, I don't care. I want to know what the progression's gonna be like, but they haven't talked about that at all, and that's what's aggravating to me.
Yeah, even if it's like you're a delivery, like I forget what other space game there is right now where it's like you're basically a glorified delivery man, but it's just really cool because it's like actually space.
Is Elite Dangerous like that?
I think so, maybe.
Elite Dangerous is combat. It's very ship combat.
Is it? Yeah. I thought there was a lot more to it, though. I thought there was.
Maybe there is. I don't know. I was looking at Elite Dangerous and also Flight Sticks the other day.
Even if it is this thing, I guess, where you're like cataloging the galaxy, if there is any progression system like other even exploration games or point A to point B kind of, games, where it's like, oh, your ship is now, you can now go faster in a shorter amount of time. You know what I mean? Like, oh, now your ship company where you discover things makes more money. I don't know.
Right.
Anything.
Yeah, I don't know.
Any kind of progression hooks, I think, would get me more into that than just even if it was a big empty universe, that would be kind of cool. But if it was actually had some kind of player.
I'm worried about the game because I care about the game. That's what it is.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Next on my list, I'm gonna move on if you guys don't mind.
Yeah, no, go for it.
All right. Next on my list, I'm just gonna. This goes without saying. If you know me well enough, Kentucky Route Zero Act 4. I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, whenever that comes out.
Yeah. Hopefully they can pump one of those out this year. You know.
That'd be nice. We've got like one a year, right? No, we got.
If that game takes 5 years to make, then you know, so be it. Because I'll let that happen.
It's pretty good.
But I'm not gonna talk about it. I've said my spiel on Kentucky Route Zero. The next one is on both my possible disappointments and on my hyped list. I'm gonna say Evolve. Played the beta. If the game works like the beta did, I will not buy the game. If the game has a lot more to it, a lot more content, I will buy the game. So,
I think my biggest problem with Evolve is that I think it's going to be a well-made game. I think it's just going to be like Left 4 Dead, where when I'm playing with a group of people, I'm going to have a really fun, awesome time. But I'm not going to have that group of people that I can always play it with, so I'll probably play like 3 or 4 really fun matches and then never play it again.
Right.
Which is kind of what happened with Left 4 Dead. And it is a bummer because I do like Left 4 Dead. It's boring by yourself and it's no fun with people online.
Yeah, that's my piece on Evolve as well, is that, like, especially the way they're framing it, at the past, like, PAX and other things, they're like, they're trying to sell it almost as esportsy.
Yeah, that was weird.
So much money into it, like,
I've never seen a game sold as, like, an esport, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but, like, the way they're trying to position it, right, is, like, they've been doing some things where they're, like, trying to get people competitively into, not just competitive, but you know what I mean, like, when their PR talks to, like,
they're pushing the competitive element.
Yes, and it's a very interesting idea because the game, I don't think, is supernatural. I don't think the game is supernatural enough. I don't think it's naturally kind of that esports type of game that you would even think of, because it's 1-on-5, and even if you think of it kind of like as like a baseball esport where like one person's the pitcher, everyone else is, you know, one person's the batter, everyone else is in the field, right? Where it's kind of like, okay, you've got your batter for the one team, and then the other team has their people, whatever, right? Or, you know, one person has their monster person, and then the 4 others or whatever are the people when they go out and do it.
Yeah, the asymmetrical element.
Yeah, and like I get that's interesting, but I guess I have the same problem with Jean-Luc with it, where it's like that is the exact same feelings I have on Left 4 Dead, which is I always buy it on, like, that's why I can't get hyped about it, is because, like, I'm not gonna buy that on day one. I'm gonna wait till it's like $15-$20 on Steam, like after a year, like on a big sale, and then I'll get it and I'll play it with all my friends once it's on sale that day, and then I will do it again once it gets on sale and more of my friends get it. Like, that is exactly how I'll play it. So, like, the idea of it being like an esport that I'd want to get into and watch just completely, like, phases out of my mind, because I wouldn't have this, you know.
Right. Pretty much feel the same about that. So,
I think this can still be really cool. So, like, I hate, like, being like,
yeah, I don't want to, like, hate on the game too much.
Right. I mean, it's not out yet though, so we don't know. That, you know, it's, you know, we're not hating on it. We're speculating.
Yeah, I feel like if that game, say,
don't hate.
If that game was to get pretty cheap on like a summer sale or a winter sale, and like all of us were to get it and then just like play for a weekend, like that would maybe be worth it for me, but not at full price.
Right. I'll go on to my next game here, Bloodborne.
Oh, hell yeah.
Don't know why I'm excited for it, because I've never played a game like it. I just know that I want that game so bad to be my entry into that Dark Souls, you know, family kind of thing. So.
Yeah, I've been getting really into Dark Souls. Like, I'm finally trying to commit myself to finishing it right now. And I was actually looking at Demon Souls and like, should I play that after maybe? And I was like, oh, maybe. But Bloodborne looks like it's continuing to evolve that, and then it's like this Victorian era, like Gothic setting, which I'm a huge fan of. Like, I love that setting, and I wish more games did that. So to kind of go from the medieval to the Gothic setting is like perfect. That's exactly what I want.
It looks awesome too. It looks really pretty from what the gameplay I've seen. So.
I think that'll be a really good entry for people into that family of games too. I should know the developer's name, because they are
From Software.
Yeah, From Software. For it's from software. Good jokes. Not even like a joke, just like a bad. Anyway.
Here, I'm gonna put three things right next to each other here.
Okay.
Oh wait, hold on. Let me finish.
Okay, all right, sorry.
A little bit more about the whatever it was. Bloodborne.
The Bloodborne.
So, I'm really excited about it because I think they do RPG elements so well, where other games where you play a lot of RPGs and it's like you level up like 3 or 4 points into something and now you're like slightly better at it. But Dark Souls and Demon Souls and Dark Souls 2, every point into each thing is like a noticeable oh, I got 1 more point into agility or whatever, and now my roll is definitely like a half second faster, and that's huge in like those games. That that little bit more speed in a roll is so vital to like your survival. So like, it's just such a
because there's a lot of animation.
Yeah, there's
paying attention to animations and stuff like that in those games, from what I understand.
Yeah, animation party. For me, it goes even further. I really like just removing the sort of leveling up, just kind of playing that game. Yeah, like you learn how to play it better, where it's like I go at a boss and you die, and then you're kind of like, oh, I should try it from this method, and it like really encourages experimentation. Like is kind of the point of that game. Like you're not supposed to be able to just run through and beat everything first try. Like you're supposed to die. You're supposed to learn.
Right.
And I'm really excited. Like they sound, to somebody who's never played a Souls game, some of the changes they're making. There's no more shields in Bloodborne. Instead, you have the gun as your alternate weapon. They do have they also have dual wielding from Dark Souls 2. That's in there. But the gun isn't meant to be like an actual damage dealing. It just stuns them. So
like impact kind of thing.
Yeah, an impact damage, and the stun lasts longer the closer they are. So there's like that risk reward of like letting them get really close and hitting them and stunning them. They changed the roll where the roll still behaves normally, but if you're locked onto an enemy, instead you do like a side strafe. And I was just reading all this stuff, and it just sounds like there are these tiny tweaks they're making that makes the game feel very different from the other games. I'm really excited to try it.
It'll still have that Dark Soulsiness in its DNA, but
I think so for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely being like remixed to a degree, so that it's
they're not making the same game again. It doesn't.
Yeah, it's not right. They aren't like refining the formula more. It's like we're gonna try to flip the script, which like fucking for a company that like just released like only 3 games in this series that were all like good. They were all good, well-reviewed, people like them games, right? Even if it's like, I love Dark Souls 1 and fuck those other ones, or I like Dark Souls 2, fuck, I'm only Demon Souls, the other 2 suck. They released 3 games that were like, people were like, these are good, like, people like them, right?
Yeah, they're consistent.
And they are already saying, let's flip the script a little bit, let's mix it up.
Right.
Because this formula can get, like, they aren't doing this. And it's funny because this isn't a huge studio, like, you'd think a small studio is like, oh, we should just keep doing this so we can earn more money. They aren't doing the Assassin's Creed where it's like just the same thing, 1 million games in a row. Like,
well, I would argue that actually Demon Souls is actually pretty different from Dark Souls. There's a lot of the way the soul systems work and the way the game's structured is actually pretty different. There's no Escus flasks, it's all consumables, like stuff like that's really big and different.
True, yeah.
But I remember when Demon Souls came out, it was like, oh, it's some Japanese game. Atlas is publishing it, which, that kind of tells you Atlas always publishes weird shit, and I love it. But I just remember, like, it coming out, and like, some people were really into it, but I was kind of like, it seems whatever. And then it had this, like, really good build-up where it just, like, as that game, the longer that game was out, it kind of kept getting more and more focus, and, like, I kept hearing more and more people talk about it. And then when Dark Souls finally got announced, like, there was suddenly this very vocal group being like, yeah, Dark Souls, and I was like, where did this come from? And then, like, so everybody heard everyone raving about Dark Souls, so people got into Dark Souls, and then it became huge, and then Dark Souls 2 blew up even more, so, it's just really interesting, like, back in 2009, like, I would have never thought that Demon Souls would have been this, actually, like, kind of big deal.
Yeah.
So that's Bloodborne.
Hell yeah!
I like to think that From Software is the craft brewery of the video games. They had this one first thing that everyone's like, pretty good, and then they give you 2 more, and you're like, yeah. And it's like
From Software.
They're definitely one of the more interesting companies in Japan releasing games right now.
And like their games are like they are a Japanese developer, but like they feel so Western. Like it feels like they looked at like the Western RPG and they're like, what's shitty about that? Which is funny because like these don't feel like JRPGs at all. These almost feel like, the stereotypical like Western RPGs.
Right.
And they were like, it's crazy that from this Japanese company was like, what do we think we can make super cool about Western RPGs?
Yeah, I almost feel like they're the kind of studio that almost doesn't exist anymore, where you got like either super indie or you got crazy AAA. And maybe now, like, Bloodborne's maybe more AAA, but I feel like even, like, when Dark Souls came out, it was still, like, kind of that B-tier, again, right. Atlas kind of level, and you just don't see that often, and I wish more studios could still make games like that, even though it's really not possible this day, unfortunately.
More on the PC now, I guess, right? That happens more on the PC. You get these middle-tier $30 games.
Yeah, but even then, it's not like it used to be.
Yeah. It's because this huge AAA thing was happening, and people were like, "Oh, we all got to get in on this." So you had like smaller studios going for these kind of AAA things that ended up being like B-tier things, but they're still good. And
yeah, but now you got indie, so it's like it's either small indie or it's just two ends of the spectrum. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
All right, hit us up, Emilio.
All right, so I'm bundling 3 games together, and I'll explain why in a second.
Sure. Okay.
Adrift, Below, and Firewatch are 3.
Okay.
3 games I know little about, but everything I've seen about them has been like, I'm like, yep.
What is Firewatch?
You don't know what Firewatch
is? No, I'm joke from another podcast.
Okay.
Don't worry, I know what Firewatch is.
Okay.
I did play Below though, so I can talk about that.
You've played Below? I
played Below.
I didn't sit at PAX line. So.
It was at PAX line. It was a long line. The reason why is because they just let you play it as long as you want. So I ended up playing for like 20 minutes, and I kind of get to the point where I feel when I'm in a line, if they're just like, yeah, just keep playing. I was like, I feel bad. Like, I don't want to be here the whole time.
Yeah, there's like a whole bunch of people back there.
Yeah, I'm like, I was just in that line. Like, I don't want to.
Why do I know what Below is?
It's by Cappy.
Wait, I think I do know about this.
It's this isometric dungeon crawler where you go through this dungeon, and it's randomized. And you're like at a fireplace. So when I played it, you go in this dungeon, and there's this fireplace, and then you kind of go through. And,
I've seen pictures of this, and it looks really cool.
Every time like it's you're like, oh, it's this random dungeon. You're like, all right, I'm gonna go through, and there are these enemies, and I had a spear. So you had like a spear and a shield. And you could like roll and you could jab. It actually feels a lot like an isometric Dark Souls in that there's like very much an animation priority.
Hearing, so.
Yeah. So like you kind of have to really like time your attacks, know what you're doing, kind of really like understand your surroundings.
That's cool. If it's like a 2D Dark Souls, sign my dick up.
I mean, it definitely like when I died, it sent me back to a fireplace. So I was like, oh, okay, this is
hey Matt,
kind of Dark Souls. It looks beautiful.
I will have sex with.
And it's really hard. But I really liked what I played of it. I would have kept playing more. But
me on this game I keep forgetting about.
Yeah, and it was originally 360 or Xbox One, and I remember I asked the guy. I said, "Yo, is this?" Because at the time I didn't own an Xbox One, and I said, "I do not want to spend
the Xbone."
The Xbone. So I did not want to buy an Xbox One just for your game, but I might have to because this game is awesome. And he said, "Well, good news. We just announced a PC version, so it is coming on PC."
And I will probably get it on Xbone because I caved and bought one. But
yeah, I have one too, so maybe it's like I need something to play on it.
Firewatch. So the reason I bundled those 3 together though was just because there's so little about them out really. That all the footage I've seen of Below has been like the same trailer. Adrift.
I don't even know.
Adrift was that trailer where you're floating through space. And that's it. And then you're like looking for oxygen tanks.
Well, I think it's a different game. What's that game that looks like it kind of looks like a more detailed Wind Waker, but it's like you can wander around or something. Do you know what I'm talking about? I seen a trailer for it.
That was I can't remember what it was. We'll get back to that. That was a Kickstarter game. I don't remember what it was though.
Okay.
Adrift is spelled like ADR1FT.
Okay.
It's kind of weird. It's just like space. That's all I know. I'm pretty easily sold on space. Looked pretty. It's very story oriented.
Oh! This is the It's like a Connect.
It's made for Oculus.
Yeah, it's made by former Microsoft guy.
I don't remember. There's not much known about it, really, other than that trailer, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that game looks beautiful.
Yeah. Not much to talk about there, though. Watch the trailer if you get a chance. Firewatch. Firewatch is what's the developer?
Campo Santo.
Campo Santo. So they're in cahoots with Ollie Moss, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Ollie Moss is the lead artist, and the writers are the writers of Walking Dead Season 1.
Yeah, you got Sean Vanneman up in that joint.
It looks gorgeous. It's everything I love in game art. It looks like a Pixar movie, the video game, to an extent. Where it's but mixed with a Kerouac novel.
Yeah, it's
it feels like a very modernist wilderness novel.
Yeah,
and I love that. I eat that shit up. I looked at it and just one little lick of the narrative on top of the art, and I was sold like that. It was that had me pretty emotionally set on buying it. So
yeah, and I follow those people too much because I listen to Idle Thumbs, and I'm pretty sure 3 of them are on that game. The way they talk about other games in terms of narrative and the way they tell story and how it needs to tie into mechanics and just the way they talk about video games in general really, it really hits a chord with me because I feel in so many times you play either AAA games or tiny indie games, and AAA games it's generally about this crazy action thing or it's about this crazy story, and then it might not necessarily be so in tune with what you're actually doing. You know what I mean? Where it's oh, you're this guy who's trying to save the world. Oh, and you're a mass murderer. You just killed 1 million people. Welcome to Shooty Shoots, the video game, right? Where it's you're trying to be the hero or whatever, but you're also the craziest killing man that's ever existed. So this huge disconnect between what you're doing story-wise and what you're doing actual player-wise.
There's a name for that. It's I forget the name. There's a name for when that happens. Something dissonance.
Cognitive dissonance?
No, it's some with an L. I can't remember the name, but
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I think they sound like really smart, interesting people, and they also come from, I know too much about them, they come from different backgrounds of film studies and other different kinds of media, and I don't know. I think there's a lot of in-gamesy stuff that happens a lot in games where you see stories that are this is a really good video game story, but it's but it's not that great out. You know what I mean? But the storytelling isn't.
It's
that
good
great
for a video game.
Yes, exactly. And I like to think that them and Gone Home and other games like that are really going to help push forward video game storytelling in terms of this is just a really good story, actually.
I was gonna put not Hello Games, but Fulbright's Tacoma on there, which if you don't know, Fulbright made Gone Home, awesome game.
That's not a video game.
Tacoma, it's a walking. It's a crib simulator.
First person walker.
It's they made
MLG Pro.
They made that, but Tacoma's coming out in 2016, so I couldn't put that on the list. But that will for sure be on my list for next year's podcast. My next thing on the list here, these are in no particular order, by the way, but Fortnite. Really excited to try.
Also not a game. I've not seen anything of that. I don't think that game's real.
You don't know what it is?
No, but they showed it 4 years ago. And I've not seen anything since.
No, they showed stuff at E3 this past summer.
Did they? Okay.
Yeah, there was a full-on trailer. They played it. It's going to be the first Unreal 4 game, I'm pretty sure.
No, there's been Unreal 4 games out.
Which one? Well, okay. First Epic Games Unreal 4 game.
Daylight was the one. Daylight's not a good game though. Don't play that.
Yeah, Daylight's an awful.
It's Epic's first Unreal Engine 4 game, which I guess matters. I don't really know how to explain it. The Google search explains it as scavenge by day, fight at night, but that doesn't really mean anything. But I know you build. The whole thing is it's called Fortnite. You build forts so that you can defend and fight at nighttime. Other than that, it's kind of nifty. Kind of got cartoony art style. Want to check it out. Moving on, Just Cause 3.
Oh fuck yeah! Is that this year?
It's slated for end of this year, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, time with the movie? No, but the movie's this summer.
I have no idea. It was on the list of things that are coming out this year.
No, I'm not movie. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of the Mad Max game. I apologize.
Yeah.
Because they're working on that too. The same guys.
Fucking mad.
I was really
Just Cause
confused.
the movie.
I was really confused. I was kind of playing along like I knew it.
Grappling around doing dumb shit.
That'd be a great movie. No, those guys are making a Mad Max video game.
If Just Cause 3 is grappling around doing more dumb shit with like more stuff, I'm happy.
I know, yeah. If there's not co-op in that, I'll be a little bit disappointed, especially after the multiplayer mod, especially after Far Cry 4.
I don't think they'll do the multiplayer the way that mod was, because they just can't. But if they put in the tools for somebody to then make that mod again for 3, I'll be happy. Like, just do that.
I bet they didn't. I assume that they would have like hired the modders, right? Because they made that official.
I don't know.
Kind of, but the problem more is that you can't. That's a hard thing to sell in a box. Like, hey, it's because the version that they would have to sell would be like, you know, you can't have like, it's 5,000 people and it's broken and it doesn't work half the time and everything's laggy. I'm like, that's what's great about it. They couldn't actually ship that.
Right.
But when it's a mod, you're like, oh,
but if they hired those modders would know how to network that into something.
I mean, even if you wrangle it into like, even if I just hope that there's at least co-op to a point where you can at least play with one other person, because like Far Cry 4 is like a lot of people have talked about like Far Cry 4 is like a better version of Far Cry 3, which is already like thumbs up, but also the co-op in it just makes it like when you do crazy shit in that game is awesome, but then when you see people like ride an elephant off a cliff and fucking like glide on out from that fucking wingsuit on out from that is awesome to see. So like
yeah, stuff like that. I love kind of free roam stuff like that. Did you play Just Cause 2, Matt?
I did, yeah, and I played the multiplayer.
If they have terrible accents, like in Just Cause 2 and a Bash story,
God.
I'll be so happy.
If like the voice acting's bad again, I will be so happy.
So bad. That one woman. There's that one woman who had like
wasn't it like a fake country?
It's a fake country, but there's this. All the accents are bad, but there's this one woman who had this accent that I just couldn't, for the life of me, figure out what they were going for.
I thought it was so funny.
It was hilarious.
I'm gonna give an honorable mention for a couple things. Nate wanted me to mention Oculus Rift for him.
Oh yeah,
the Oculus Rift.
It's coming out.
It comes out this year. That's it. I don't really feel like I need to sell Oculus.
No, I don't have anything. I'm just ready for it to come out. I really have nothing
just give me an Oculus.
I think everyone's ready.
If you have any interest in the Oculus Rift and want to see and hear about what it's like from other people, look at our Oculus Rift videos of Nate being terrified. And
yeah, I mean, my roommate has an Oculus Rift, so anytime I want to use one, I can just be like, "Yo, give me that Oculus."
Yeah.
Give me that cock.
How's the DK2 treating you?
It's pretty good. I tried it with Alien. It looks really nice.
I want to try that. How does it work with your glasses?
Oh, I took the glasses off. Especially because it's a bit more sensitive, the glass, so I didn't want to scratch it or anything.
Can you adjust it for your awful... Like, I have awful eyesight.
Can you, like, not that I was aware of.
Can you, like, move the things back and forth at all for that?
You can move the things back and forth. It didn't do that much, so it was still a little bit blurry for me because of my eyesight.
I have contacts, so, like, I guess...
Yeah, you might have to put on contacts, I think is really the best solution.
That annoys me.
I agree, but, I mean, it's understandable.
I guess.
Next on my list of hyped things was, and this was also this is a re-release, Super Time Force Ultra Vita.
Oh, Shuhei Ushida is a playable character.
Mm-hmm.
And he throws tweets at you.
He throws tweets.
I think its attack is tweets.
Fuck yeah, that game is awesome.
Totally, yeah.
I didn't play a lot of it, but I can see that being an excellent portable game.
I played the whole thing. It was great. It's a great game.
That came out last year, so I mean, there's not much more I need to say about it. 2 games here I'm gonna bundle together. Rainbow Six Siege and The Division are on hyped and on possible disappointment.
Yeah.
I feel like Siege could just be kind of a up-resed, buggy, possibly kind of
Rainbow Six
I don't know, like
No. I feel like Siege could almost be like
Counter-Strike kind of thing.
No, I was gonna go for like almost like a Left 4 Dead Evolved scenario where it's like
I guess that would work too.
It would kind of have the same appeal and the same downsides of it's only fun with friends and when you're actually trying and stuff like that.
Kind of like Payday 2. I was only really having fun with that with friends, stuff like that.
Exactly, yeah.
The Division, I don't know. That kind of. I was really excited for what I saw of it at first, but I wanted it out by now. Like I feel like that the hype has come and gone for it, but it's on my list.
Not for me. I need to see more of it.
I guess
it's got loot. It has kind of this open world area. It almost sounds like they're trying to basically do a Destiny kind of.
Yeah,
but it could be fun.
I'll look at.
Except they kept the fun in.
Shut up. My last two things on my hyped list are I'm excited for TI5 Dota 2. That was an event. I really want to go this year, so I'm hoping to get tickets. So I want to go to Seattle and see that. I think that'd be a really fun time.
Are you gonna
maybe do a video or something, you know?
Oh yeah.
I would love to do some event stuff videos this year.
We'll maybe talk about this later, but maybe PAX or something. But
PAX, I think they're doing the local thing, Green Mountain Gaming again.
Gabe got a media badge.
I don't care. I got my tickets. I'm good.
My last thing for hyped, things I'm hyped for. I'm probably the only one. Some more Destiny DLC. I'm really excited for it.
Oh yeah, what do you think of that stuff? The Comet stuff that was kind of leaked.
Oh yeah. Give it to me. I want more. Give me more DLC. I'm happy with it.
I'm curious to see what they'll do with it because I get the feeling the House of Wolves is just going to be very similar in style to The Dark Below. So I'm curious to see what a more proper expansion would actually be like.
Right.
Does it look like it'll be more substantial?
Yeah, it's supposed to have like 12 story missions, and I don't. There's this whole thing that got leaked.
Oh, that's
possible disappointments. Possible disappointments. I have 3 here that I haven't mentioned. So the ones I've mentioned are Evolve, Rainbow Six Siege, and The Division. I've got Dead Island 2, which might suffer from Dead Island 1 syndrome.
I don't know why Dead Island 2 is being made, because they already have made a sequel to Dead Island. It's called Dying Light, and it's coming out like in 2 weeks. And I'm just like, why are you making Dead Island? I don't want to talk about it.
But like the first trailer for the first game was the best content they ever made.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Hands down. Well, okay. I enjoyed the first act of Dead Island. I thought the first act was legitimately fun. It was buggy, but I had a fun time playing with my friends. The game just got awful after that, for a multitude of reasons. But they had something there. There's a little bit of magic.
Yeah. Next on here is Halo 5 Guardians.
Yeah, I've been playing the beta. I'm actually really digging that. I like the way it feels. It feels like Halo to me, I like it. I don't know.
I played enough of it to decide that it needs to do a lot more for me to want it.
How so?
I'm gonna say something. I don't know if this is heresy to anyone, but I feel like after I played and beat Halo 3, Halo finished, and I was happy. And,
that's fine. I'm okay with that.
And I'm done with Halo. That was the best one.
Well,
good.
I'm a hardcore Halo fan. I'll play every Halo. I'll play every Halo. I'm one of those people.
I don't think Halo 5 is going to be great.
I played Reach, like the campaign was fine. No. I don't think the multiplayer was as good in Reach.
I think that I'm excited for the additions to the Master Chief Collection we will be getting.
A functioning game are you talking about, or like what are we?
I don't think it's functioning still. I couldn't tell you because I didn't bring my Xbox.
I mean, I can't really say Halo 5 will be disappointing one or the other because I've they haven't shown enough of it to me. Like, yes, there's the multiplayer, and yeah, I enjoy what I play, but I don't know what the full sweep is like. And for me, the single player is just as big of a deal as the multiplayer, and I know nothing about that apart from like the very little story leaks. So I really can't say one way or the other whether I think Halo 5 is going to be good or not. I hope it is. I really like Halo.
Yeah. So that's my Halo spiel. H1Z1 was my last possible disappointment. I think that, and I was having this conversation with Matt earlier today, I think H1Z1 is pretty much a DayZ clone.
I've never even heard of it until now.
It's basically DayZ for consoles and PC. I don't know why it's being made. I don't think another one of those games needs to be made. I don't even think any of those games have been finished yet.
Aren't they actually making DayZ for PS4 or something like that? Or Xbox?
I think that's what H1Z1 is.
Oh. Okay.
I don't really know, but I watched some footage of the game. I'm like, this is just DayZ, for one. For two, I just, like I said, I haven't seen a finished product of any of these games. DayZ's not done.
Yeah.
No, DayZ's not done. Rust isn't done.
Like, just stop making them. Like, finish one. Like, I know it's different developers, but like you're doing something other people have done, but haven't finished.
Yeah, it's not like all the Dota and League of Legends clones where it's like you have the established things. It's like, oh, that game that's half finished, we should clone that. And you're like, oh my gosh, at least let them finish the game first.
Yeah, if you keep cloning a half finished game, you're just gonna have a quarter finished game.
That's a good point. That is math. That checks out.
My last section here was things I want to happen this year. All right. Number 1, Fallout 4 announcement.
I think that'll happen. I've heard.
I hope so.
I
want it.
Happen.
It's time.
I don't have any actual. It's like I heard it on podcasts, like some other speculation. I think that's a lot of people are like, I think that's gonna happen this year.
Well, that team has to be working on something, because if it's not Fallout, it's the new Elder Scrolls. Like they're clearly working on something.
But fuck that! I don't want another Elder Scrolls game right now.
I mean, I'll definitely take another Elder Scrolls game at some point, but I think I like the idea of switching between Elder Scrolls and Fallout because it's a good. I feel like they're good palate cleansers for each other.
I want one of those games with Oculus Rift support because, like, I don't love open world games the same way everyone else does. Sometimes they fall flat for me a lot. Very particular ones will hit me. I wish I could play Far Cry 4 in the Oculus. That's all I want. I want a crazy, beautiful open world that I can walk around in.
I'm sure somebody's modding that.
Have you seen? Oh my god! My friend showed me the fire tech in that game.
Oh yeah.
The fire, like just the fire, and like the water, like the reflections of the water, like
Beautiful.
looking at the foliage, like.
Play it on PC, ladies and gentlemen.
The fire tech of Far Cry 2, I remember being impressive.
Oh yeah, you just set the ground on fire and the fire spread, and that was the first time I ever saw that in a game, and I was like, we've reached the pinnacle, boys.
We've done it.
We did it.
I can fix a truck by putting a wrench in the engine for 30 seconds, and I forgot something on my hyped list.
Okay.
Metal Gear Solid 5.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yes, yeah.
I've got Time Paradox under my name, and I didn't even mention Metal Gear Solid 5. What am I doing?
I don't really. I've seen all the trailers. I've seen the gameplay. You don't need to show me anymore. Just give it to me.
$60 in my wallet. That's like, yep.
Yeah, that's all I need. Just give it to me right now.
Right now.
I really don't need to say any more about that game.
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 5. If you don't know anything about Metal Gear Solid... Oh, speaking of, I got the Metal Gear Solid HD collection for my Vita.
Nice.
Primo purchase right there. Alright, back to things I want to happen. I want more Kingdom Hearts 3 footage.
I've never played Kingdom Farts.
I feel like they're probably gonna show a little bit, but they're probably waiting for 15 to finish before they go real into like the big marketing push for Kingdom Hearts. I feel because they literally just started development of that game like 2 E3s ago.
I know. I want it now. I have Crash Bandicoot on here for things I want to happen. I want another Crash Bandicoot game.
I kind of don't care about Crash Bandicoot. I am so apathetic about it. Like, for those who like it, like, totally go for it. But I'm just kind of
I was thinking about Naughty Dog, and I was like, man, like, what's Naughty Dog working on right now? Probably a Last of Us something, right? And we have Uncharted 4.
But they definitely have two things going. They have kind of two.
But I read today that they've kind of taken off of a little bit of their Last of Us focus to focus more on Uncharted. I'm like, why don't you divvy it up a little bit and get like a Crash Bandicoot game going or something like that, or another Jack and Daxter.
Well, I mean, they're probably really ramping up Uncharted, so I imagine some of the team kind of go off and start to develop the next game, which is, who knows what that is, but...
Yeah. I should just get a Crash Bandicoot tattoo on my butt.
All right, are you ready? Are you guys ready for the final item on my list?
All right, go.
What do you want?
What do I want to happen in 2015?
The Comic-Con.
The Last Guardian.
Oh, that won't happen. Good luck with that.
All right, how can I get a wet fart noise?
No, said won't happen.
Yeah.
Next.
Oh, Emilio.
It's not gonna occur.
I want the Last Guardian.
Here's the thing, though.
So bad.
I'm like, man, the Last Guardian would be great, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't even know what that game is. Like I don't know what that game would be like, because it's like
with a griffin, right?
Because you're like, oh, it could be Shadow, and you're like, man, Shadow's good, but it's like, nah, it might be more like Ico, and you're like, oh, Ico's okay, Ico has good ideas, but his execution was kind of a bit sloppy.
Yeah, I love Team Ico.
I love their stuff, and I want that game to exist, but I can't say I'm like legitimately hyped for it because I have no idea what that game is.
I would take it freaking Shadows of the Colossus too.
I would too. Totally.
I want oh man, like just like those set pieces of the Colossus or Colossi, whatever.
Although there's something to be said about keeping Shadow of the Colossus pure. Like, it's one of the few great things that marketing and money hasn't touched, and there's not like Shadow of the Colossus 2 pre-order now to get your Argo skin pack.
I think that game is pretty timeless.
Exactly. I think that game's timeless. It totally holds up. I don't need a 2 in that, like, I don't know. You can leave that one untouched.
Yeah. All right. But yeah, The Last Guardian. I don't think I know I'm not the only one out there that wants to see it.
Yeah.
Just let me see it. Like,
I just want them to stop jerking around. Like, if it's gonna be canceled, just cancel it.
Last Guardian or Half-Life 3?
Well, they've actually shown
footage
gameplay of Last Guardian, although I bet you all of that footage was scrapped at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like if you were to like look at like,
I don't know, 3 years ago they showed that. 3 or 4 years ago.
5.
It was a while. That was like 5 years ago.
I remember seeing that and I was like, yeah, I got a PS3. And then when PS4 came out, people are like, all right, it'll be on the PS4.
PlayStation 5.
Yeah, dude, it was at
God, if that was a launch title on the PS4, man, that would have gone down good.
Yeah.
Probably.
I'm pretty good.
Probably. Speculative, I guess.
Maybe.
Yep, 5 years ago. 5 years ago, that game was announced, and 5 years later,
well,
nothing. The thing is, I know Half-Life 3 is going to come out. I don't need to worry about it. But The Last Guardian, like, is seriously on the edge of not existing, like, and has been.
I don't know.
I agree. I think Half-Life is going to come out at some point.
I hold more speculation that Half-Life.
I know Half-Life is going to come out at some point.
It'll come out eventually, but I don't.
But yeah, it'll eventually come out.
I think it could.
Last
be 5
Guardian
years
may
before
never come out. It's possible Last Guardian couldn't.
Yeah, you think it'll be cut?
Valve?
I don't know. It's been 5 years in development. They can't. I don't think they can do that.
Valve is video game Pixar. They literally even if they make a bad game, it's good.
Nah, I'd think about that. Video game Pixar.
I'm trying to think of like a
like a Blizzard.
I think that's our discussion for next week. But I think Blizzard right now is video game Pixar.
I think like Left 4 Dead 2 is like Cars 2.
No, I like Left 4 Dead 2.
I like Cars 2. Kind of.
You like Cars 2?
No.
Let's just alright. So this was Bark the Police.
No.
with
Well,
Emilio.
is
We
anybody
done?
else-
No, we just
No, we're not
good.
done. No, I'm just done with Emilio's awful comparison of Cars 2 and Left 4 Dead 2. We're done. We're done. This was Bark the Police. We're done. No more of those. Unless, like, I need at least, like, 30 minutes before I put that back in my ears.
All right. Anybody else got anything?
I'll go, because I wanted to go.
All right, yeah, you guys go. I'll just, since I don't really have a list, I can just kind of clean up with whatever you don't say.
That's alright, good. So I also said Dying Light. It's that I'll run through the things that we said first in my
I didn't say
excitement.
Dying
We didn't really talk about Dying Light.
Oh, we didn't talk Dying
Well,
I'm
we
excited-
mentioned it, but we didn't actually talk about the game.
Alright, so I'm excited for Dying Light. It's that crazy parkour zombie game where you do fucking flips on their heads and smash them up with bats. It looks cool.
I
I
agree.
don't know what else. That's all we've really seen about it. It looks cool, and it's supposed to come out this year.
I hope it's good.
Yeah.
No, soon. Comes out, like, 27th.
Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Well. Someone did know that. Grim Fandango Remastered is coming out.
Also comes out the 27th. Dude, just went available pre-order now on Good Old Games.
I haven't played Grim Fandango, and I feel like I've missed a part of the world. So
Grim
I want-
Fandango is one of those adventure games that I missed. I played a ton of LucasArts adventure games. That was like my whole childhood, but I definitely missed Grim Fandango, so I'm excited to be able to play it finally.
Yeah,
Speaking of
I'm
good
very
adventure
excited
games,
for
like
that.
Freddy Fish, Putt
Oh,
Putt.
Humongous Games?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those
Ron
were-
Gilbert.
Those were made for kids, but those were excellent games.
Yeah,
Excellent.
and those games were made by Ron Gilbert, who was from LucasArts, who made like Monkey Island. So that's why those games are, even though they're for kids, they're still really good because they have that LucasArts DNA in them.
Those games hold
Mhm.
up.
I think most LucasArts games hold up. Monkey Island's still
will-
really good.
If I ever have children, I will raise my kids on Putt Putt and stuff like that.
So yeah, I really want to, because that's been like a blind spot in like my gaming whatever, right? And my gaming taste. I haven't touched a lot of it. I've played like a few, I guess. Like I've touched a few, but I haven't really played any of them to completion. So I think I'll do that with Grim Fandango Remastered.
Yeah, we should look at that. We should do a side quest of that.
We already mentioned Just Cause 3, and we talked about it.
Yep.
Rainbow Six The Siege, that looks cool. I loved Rainbow Six Vegas 2, and I know it's not the same, but still.
I mean, Rainbow Six Vegas 2 was... Okay, it's a bad game, but I really liked that game.
Really? I loved
I don't
Rainbow
think
Six
I
Vegas
think I think most people like Rainbow Six Vegas too. I've never heard anyone say that's a bad game. You
I
might be the
thought...
first.
Okay, I'll say what I thought was bad of it. I thought the graphics of that game were just god-awful.
They were
for some
very
reason.
good.
It was like,
amazing,
everything looked
but-
like it was constantly waiting to load in forever. Like,
You
the
mean,
texture-wise?
Yeah, the textures
It's like
were
that
not-
Unreal texture
I do
pop, but
remember
it
that.
never happens.
Yeah.
I just all I did was
The
play
campaign was really short, and the story was, I mean, just...
Oh, I didn't even play the
forgettable.
campaign.
I
was
played.
just-
It's all about terrorist hunt.
It's all about terrorism.
Oh, okay. So you see the multiplayer. I played the campaign, and it wasn't good, but I played it with a friend, and you could spec out your characters. So we would have it where like he was like a sniper, or I was a sniper guy, like light armor. I could move faster, and he just wore like the bulkiest armor and had a shotgun. And we would have it where it's like, he would go in, and I would like stay on behind, and it was like a ton of fun. I thought that game was cool, even though I wouldn't call it good.
Man, that I don't know. Terrorstone was
man,
like some of my favorite, some of my favorite moments from multiplayer on Xbox Live, which is like whenever I talk about this, I feel like nostalgic, like I'm an old person, but like for a lot of people in the early days of multiplayer, it's like when I used to play Quake on the PC or whatever, but like for our generation, a lot of it's like when I played Xbox Live with all my friends when I was a kid, and like that's I think
know
of
about you.
awesome moments.
I was early days Unreal Tournament, so
Yeah, I was Unreal 4.
Really, my
Or not,
introduction
2004.
to
2004.
my introduction to like multiplayer fun was like the Xbox Live, Xbox 360 times, which was just like early high school into
I beta tested Xbox Live, which
Really?
That's cool.
it was called Xbox Connect.
Really?
Hilarious.
Was it spelled with a
Connect,
K?
but You know how it's spelled CONN. You
They'd be like, oh, it's all connected.
You had to run your router directly to your Xbox.
That's funny.
And do things like you would have to find a server on your computer with dial-up, and it was fucked. I didn't set it up. My dad knew how to do it, but I did. What was I gonna say? Some of my best memories of actual local multiplayer was doing split screen terrorist hunt. On Villa. It was always Villa, and we would do realistic mode and try and see how many of them we could kill. And it was such a triumph when you finally got them all on realistic.
Villa was so fucking good.
Oh, Villa. It was some of the best level design. You actually felt you were infiltrating this place. I knew all of the points. It was this time I'm going in. This time I'm going to kill the guy in garage. Go to garage. Throw C4 on the door, catch their attention, and blow up the door and kill 4 of them.
God, that was seriously that level design is on par with Dust for fucking CS:GO. It didn't have the multiplayer cachet with a lot of people, but I played a ton of multiplayer that game. Villa was the fucking you were serious, you played Villa and fucking knew the points, people knew what to do. That was a good fucking map. So what else? So The Division, I also thought sounded cool. We kind of talked about that open world, looty, realistic post-apocalyptic thing. I also have a huge graphics boner over it. Everything they've showed, the tech in that game, the tech is they every time they post something on Polycount about it, which is it's just people are just what are you guys doing? You have some masterful programming to make your art look fucking amazing. So The Division, Just Cause 3, and Bloodborne, which we talked about at length. So I have 2 more games that we didn't talk about. I'm most excited for. So I guess
I'll be right back. I'm going to drink. I'm going to grab a drink of water.
Okay.
All right.
I also said that's a good stopping here. I'll click on Emilio so everyone can see that. It's Emilio eating some pizza rolls, and that was that. And then I also said Firewatch. So I have 2 games. I'll wait for him to get back. I have 2 games that we didn't talk about that I think we can discuss a little bit.
Okay.
For my most excited. And then I have flops. Or possible flops, I guess. And one game that no one's mentioned that I was what? This is coming out? And no one's still talked about it. I haven't seen anything about it, so who knows?
I don't think maybe I'm gonna bring it up.
Stuck in traffic. It said stuck in traffic won't make it.
That's fine. Well, we should have dead air.
Yeah. So next week we're gonna do. I guess we should say next week we're gonna talk about Blizzard and we think Blizzard's fucking creaming it right now.
I agree.
So we're gonna talk about why we think Blizzard is just doing super well.
The best.
Next week, yeah. Why they're doing really well. All right. So the other 2 games.
I'll be right back again. Someone's knocking on my door.
I hate whoever. I just don't like Emilio's friends. What were you gonna say, Jean-Luc?
No, I don't know. I was trying to make up something. Then you started. We were talking about. I don't know.
Filling dead air.
He was I don't know what I'm doing.
Bark the police. I think that should really be the name. I think that we're that's him. We're good.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
So the first game is something that we all probably know about, and I think Jean-Luc hasn't played Killing Floor 2.
I never played Killing Floor.
Killing Floor 2 is supposed to come out this year. Hells yeah. Killing Floor is just one of those games. It is like Left 4 Dead before Left 4 Dead, kinda. Where you're in this big area in a... Emilio, I can't hear you.
It was originally a Counter-Strike mod.
It was originally a Counter-Strike mod. It was super fucking awesome. Killing Floor 2 or Killing Floor 1 is awesome. It's just a really fun get your shit right and kill some fucked up weird nuclear zombies, and it was fun. And Killing Floor 2 is coming out. The graphics look amazing, and it just looks like they have better tech in the game, and I imagine they're gonna some new awesome maps and shit. So I'm excited for that. Amelia, are you excited for that?
It looks gorgeous. The textures look beautiful. I was looking at like just some of the fly-throughs of like the maps, and I was like, yeah, I want more Killing Floor. Killing Floor was great. I played a lot of Killing Floor on my old Dell.
Mm-hmm.
That was like back when I was rocking a huge CRT, and Counter-Strike all the time, like. And man, Killing Floor was like one of my top games. I loved it. So
it's just a really tight game.
It's safe to say that I'm excited for Killing Floor too.
I think we're gonna have to rope Jean-Luc into playing that with us because he hasn't played the first one. Which I'm
okay. That sounds cool.
As someone who's
I think you'll like Killing Floor.
Yeah, you'll definitely be into it. I'm shocked that you haven't played it because that's just kind of a game that everyone I know who's played PC games is like, yeah, of course I played Killing Floor too because it's been on sale for $1.
I used to think
awesome.
It was free.
Yeah, because it's just been on sale for so cheap so much, you know? So it's just like every time that happens, and like at a certain point, all my friends had it, so we'd forget during the sales. They're like, oh, we should play that again. And then, like, you know, jump on that shit. And my final one, can I get a drum for most excited?
I'll get it. Let me get it. Hold on, give me a second. No.
All right.
I got it right here. Oh, wait.
Different tone. American Truck Simulator!
Wait, what?
American Truck Simulator!
They're making an American Truck Simulator. That's awesome.
Made by the folks who made Euro Truck Simulator 2. So you know, I was like, when I saw that title on there, I was like, no way, is it made by this? I didn't know if it was like a ripoff company. You know, someone's like, Euro Truck Simulator has this weird cachet. Let's make American Truck Simulator. Same fucking team.
That's awesome. That's great.
American Truck Simulator. Euro Truck Simulator is fucking the game. If you're kind of a nerd, I guess. It's I don't know. Everyone has like these kind of games, or at least I think everyone has.
I'm a Flight Simulator guy. Oh
yeah,
wait.
Like, you're there.
Okay, I am there. Okay.
Okay. I don't know, everyone has these games that I guess I would call like Zen Garden games where like they're just like, yeah, I just like hung out and played like Minecraft for hours or whatever, and like I really got into this thing after like sophomore year where I played like 30 hours of Euro Truck Simulator, and like I haven't gone back a lot because I've just been busy with school and other new games come out, but like it's something that like I remember fondly, just like you just drive, like you just deliver shit and then park the truck well, and you get more points for parking it well, and you can listen to European radio on the thing, and like.
I think that game for me has been lately has been Hitman Go.
Yeah.
I just finished playing all of Hitman Go. That game is awesome.
It's really good.
I'm not done yet. It's getting hard.
The game gets really tough.
I'm on like the third box or whatever.
Yeah. I guess I don't know what else to say about American Trucks. I'm just excited.
I mean, like if you know what Euro Truck Simulator is, then like I think I know, you know what to expect.
Yeah, if you don't, it's just like they do stuff so well in terms of like the feel. You play first person because you're fucking playing Euro Truck Simulator, and like it just. I don't know what it is, but it's like the satisfaction. Like there's kind of games considered like job replacement games. It just feels like you're doing a good job. Like you're just like you're shifting up and you're just going the right speed and you don't want to hit anyone. You're just like it's so lame. It makes me want to go on a long drive, but then going on a long drive is more annoying because you have assholes on the road and the NPCs in Euro Truck Simulator aren't as bad as like drivers in New Jersey. So so. I don't know. It's just a chill time. Just chill out.
My buddy back in the States loves Farm Sim.
Yeah, there's just certain like weird games I think everyone can get on, and American Truck Simulator is fucking gonna be the shit.
I have another honorable mention.
Sure.
I'm sure Nate is excited for the next Assassin's Creed that's supposed to come out this year. The Victory, yeah. That's it. I don't care about Assassin's Creed, so.
Alright. So I got my flops list. Who's ready for some waffle flops?
Give me them flops.
Let me give you them flops. Alright, so first one, Assassin's Creed Victory.
Okay.
I wrote that down as Amelia said it, and I was like, Assassin's
and that's it.
It's my one and only flop.
No, I have other ones. We already mentioned Evolve. I don't know if it's going to be flop. We kind of talked about the concerns with that, right? It just doesn't feel like I want to buy it at $60 and play it right away. It feels like I want to buy it at $20 and play it with some friends eventually. Also, I only mentioned Assassin's Creed Victory not because the whole series is like bad. Like I have a lot of respect for those games, but Ubisoft, like can't even say like Ubisoft has done horror. Like Far Cry 4 is great. So like, but there's concern to be had with a series that's been going on as long as that, and when it changed to Pirates and then came back from Pirates, and everyone's like, so I guess this is just more Assassin's Creed. Like, even when it works, Unity, people are still saying, like, it's kind of boring. It's not the most exciting jam.
It makes me think that Assassin's Creed 4 was like a fluke.
Yes.
That I was blinded by how cool the boats were.
Yeah. Boat tech. Boat stealth.
I have nothing to say about Assassin's Creed. I played the first one and stopped.
Fair enough.
And so, do we talk about The Order?
No, we didn't.
The Order 1886. Yeah, and I have been hyped for it, but now I'm going
to be honest, I was never into that game.
It sounded interesting, right? I was like, yeah, steampunk and gun shit. But then when I saw Bloodborne, I was like, that's what I'm talking about.
I guess the Order 1866 or whatever it's called.
Is it 1886 or whatever?
Order 66. Kill all the Jedi.
Kyle Wolfenstein.
There's just a lot of, I don't know, from people who've previewed that game on other websites and podcasts, there's been a lot of talk about, like, hopefully it comes together in a not cover-based shooter kind of way.
Well, everything they've shown of it, like, they showed the CG trailer, and you're like, oh, I love the aesthetic. And they're like, here's the game. It looks really pretty. It's just Gears of War.
I think what happened...
But, like, it doesn't have, like, some of the things about Gears of War that make it interesting. It's like, yeah, it's just a cover shooter. Like, that's all it is.
I think what happened was Sony was like, oh my god, yes, we have this, like in the beginning, basically, of The Order, we're like, we got, like, 30 seconds of footage of this game. It's running at, like, 12 frames a second. It looks gorgeous. You know what? We're so ready to ship this thing. Like, we're good. And then they're like, everyone's like, so, like, this isn't going to be just, like, like another Gears of War and stuff like that. And they're all like, shit, what the fuck are we going to do? Like, we got to, like, make this, and, like, we got to make this more interesting. And I don't think they have, from what I've seen. So, in the beginning, I was like, yeah, this looks awesome. I just don't know what it's going to be, though.
Yep, that is also my concern.
I think it's just going to be generic cover-based third-person shooter.
Yeah, which is why my hype, I guess, shifted from that to when I heard about Bloodborne and saw that. I was like, oh, okay, they're doing the thing that I thought would be awesome. You know what I mean? This gritty, weird shooter, melee thing, I don't know, steampunk, whatever, and then it's like, but Bloodborne, right? And I'm like, that's my boy. Let's fill a little more air while Jean-Luc's touching himself. Podcast names, huh? Oh, there's Jean-Luc. All right.
Hello. Sorry about that.
The Order 1886, possible pooper. Possible cod blops. All right, so I got two left.
Whoa. Did you say possible cod blops?
Yeah.
Wait, Black Ops is like probably the best Call of Duty.
All right, that was good. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's like the best one.
Okay, well, I don't know if the best one. I like the new one a lot.
Well, okay, the new one's pretty good, but
in terms of like well-written stories for the story mode and like really good fucking twists, Blops.
If you were to tell me like the peak of Call of Duty, I would say it was either 4, the first Black Ops. I think this new one's pretty good.
I didn't see the end of Blops coming, honestly.
You could say it's the Ghost of maybe because Ghost sucked. Ghost was shit.
It was a piece of shit.
Right,
it was a piece of shit. No one likes Ghost.
While we're talking bullshit, I would like to say my room oscillates when I'm using like my computer at full chop. Right now, for some reason Hangouts is like, yeah, using all your resources. Like, it just makes my computer...
Google stuff is like that.
Yeah, it just, my computer, like, likes to run a little hot when it fucking uses this. So, like, my room is oscillating between hot and cold, and that what determines that is if the door to my room is open or not. So, like, if I keep it cracked a little bit, it's too warm. If I keep it wide open, I get a little bit chilly. So I don't... It's not like... I even put it halfway, and it was like, nah, hot. So, I don't know. I'm just going to keep it open. I'd rather be cold than sweaty.
Fair.
So... I'm gonna say the more controversial, questionable one for last. Battlefield Hardline.
And I thought the game itself looked kind of meh.
I played the beta, and
that was
fine.
before the fact that all this stuff happened that makes that game socially maybe not acceptable anymore.
Yeah, we could talk about that in a minute. I just want to say, like, I played the beta for it, and it was fine. But
yeah, I played it too. It was okay.
For a Battlefield game. But when I heard about this, I was like, oh man, it's going to be like Rainbow Six-y or something, because you got cops and robbers. And no, it's
just a Battlefield 4 mod.
It is a Battlefield 4 like mod, and like it's good. It like plays well.
Mod expansion, William.
If they sold it for like $30, I would be okay with it.
Yes, and like that's
what. This was like a Vietnam expansion or something, like they did for Bad Company 2.
You know what's funny? I'm gonna keep playing Battlefield 4 this night. Battlefield 4, guys, like it didn't get a lot of good praise when it came out because like the online was fucking broken, the story was bullshit.
Too much money on that fucking game.
Listen, if you have all the expansions, the multiplayer fucking works now, and all the expansions like are good. The maps are good now. Like, every time I dip in, I'm like, man, this is like good Battlefield, and like it just isn't getting a huge amount of praise because it's just more Battlefield, but like it's some good Battlefield. The last map packs.
Go ahead.
Last map packs are just really, really tight. It's doing some cool shit.
Nothing's ever gonna be Bad Company 2. I'm sorry.
Bad Company was fucking magical. Bad Company 2 was like pristine.
Bad Company 2 was like, oh my god, I'm sniping everyone right now, and a tank just blew me out of a fucking top floor of a building.
Yeah, the multiplayer Bad Company 2. Oh, so good. And that the Vietnam expansion was awesome. That was a really good expansion.
Flying around in a Huey playing Ride of the Valkyrie.
Yeah. Good shit, man.
Yeah, I think Hardline will be, I mean, at least for me, it's going to be floppy, because I think, like, honestly, Battlefield 4 has some tight multiplayer. If I actually had friends who played it with me, like, that could be, like, one of my favorite games right now, but it's a lot of money to ask people to get into, because the game is still not that cheap, and the expansions are still kind of expensive, so it's like, but I got it on sale one time. They keep doing these random sales where it's like, it's $60 for everything, and, like, that's when I jumped on it, but still, that's $60 for Battlefield, which hasn't been the Battlefield 4, which hasn't been reviewed great. There isn't a lot of hoopla about it. So getting anyone into it's like.
I bought premium day one.
Why don't you play? We should play that together, maybe.
I can't play it here. My laptop will die.
Oh, okay. Well, I need someone to fucking get premium and play it with me because honestly, the new maps, like the maps that came out with it were pretty good, but the new maps are like every expansion, the maps I swear to God have gotten better and like they're fun.
I didn't mention this. This is probably good for the podcast. I tested streaming today from the laptop and from here. Works okay. Works pretty good, I'd say. Matt said it looked good, so.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. If you want to figure out a schedule and try doing some streaming.
Yeah, I mean, I figure if I'm going to be playing with any of you guys for anything, then you guys should stream and I'll just Skype in or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, you guys be the primary. But I wouldn't mind, maybe doing some games. I was thinking maybe do some Dungeon of the Endless or something like that with Matt, so. Yeah,
that would be cool. I think we should definitely do that.
Maybe try and do an entire campaign or something.
Oh, man, that would be sick. My last flop is concern for... So, I have played very little of the series. Someone gifted it to me, and then the game glitched and broke, so I stopped playing it. But I have concern for this game because it's kind of been a long time coming, and also I think they got like a bigger studio under them and some other things, and some more money came their way, so I'm concerned that the game might have lost some of its original charm. The game in question is The Witcher 3.
Don't tell me that.
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I heard The Witcher 2 was like really, really tight for everyone who was into The Witcher, and like from like I don't know. I guess I don't know. I heard murmurings from like one podcast that they were like, Yeah, I heard there was like because it was delayed, right? I think there was delays or something, and like some.
Yeah,
people were,
it's delayed.
Yeah, there was some concern that like it's because they're having a hard time refining some stuff, and
I'm stressed out for all of the people that really like The Witcher.
I love The Witcher.
Because if The Witcher 3 is bad, what happens?
That is a bummer, because Witcher 1 is a pretty good game, but it's like it's got a lot of problems. It's like, here's some crazy game made by some Polish people. But then Witcher 2 is just like, they're like, all right, here's stuff that worked, here's stuff that didn't work. They threw it all out. They bumped the graphic level to like 20, and it was like, fuck, Witcher 2 is amazing. Mm-hmm. And then they're like, Witcher 3, they're like, we're going even harder. Like, at no point when they make those games do they ever feel like they are just phoning it in, like, yeah, we just made another Witcher. Like, each time they're just ratcheting everything up. And I mean, it's entirely possible Witcher 3 could just be like, they went too far and it all blew up in their face. But I guess it would still suck, but at the very least, if it didn't work out because they reached too far for the sun, I'd be more okay with that than like, they just phoned it in and it was just kind of whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I'd still be super disappointed, but at the very least, I'm like, well, they tried. They tried to make something crazy.
Do we want to quickly talk about the Battlefield Hardline thing? Because like, I almost thought, I was like, oh, maybe we could spin that into...
Not much to say. It's just, hey, making a game where it's like, you're a cop who's, not playing by the rules and is taking the law in his own hands. Maybe not the best thing to put out right now.
Yeah, and just like, typically in American culture, that's like a thing that's like, that is a cool cachet that a lot of people can jive with, is the badass cop. But it is just that, and it's just that right now in the current climate, not great.
No.
It's just like and I'm not a huge proponent of like badass cop. Like, I don't generally get into like badass cop movies. They aren't my thing, I guess. But like, I'm not saying like they're stupid or whatever, blah blah blah. But like,
it just feels tactless and tone deaf.
Let me play devil's advocate here for a second.
Okay, all right.
Oh, they've been making the game for a long time. Is the devil's? I mean,
I'm not saying that the
like,
developers are malicious. Far from it. Yes. I don't think they're like these cynical, like, we're gonna try and cash in on the current events. I think it is just bad, horrible timing for them.
Yes.
But
which sucks for them because they have a game to sell.
Yes. I agree, but at the same time, just because it is horrible timing doesn't mean like they should just ignore it and like, well, it's not our fault. It's like, but it's still bad timing. Like, you still have to take that into account.
I think it was E3, this past E3, when this just summer that just happened, when they were demoing the game on like that rooftop or whatever, right? Remember that big thing?
Yeah.
On like a sunny day in like the middle of fucking summer in California where everyone's sweating and they're like, play it on this hot rooftop.
With screen glare.
Probably horrible screen glare. When that was happening, there was a hostage situation with police, with some killings and stuff happening, downtown LA or something like that, at like literally the same day.
Yeah, and they're like playing a game.
So like, it's just like, it's bad timing, and like if there's a sign from God that like this is just not gonna probably turn a profit for you guys, that was probably the thing that's like, on a rooftop, this is happening. Meanwhile, cuts to actual scene of
I feel bad for those guys.
negotiations and.
I totally feel bad for those guys, but
yeah, it's just like
I don't know.
That sucks.
Also, the game's meh, so I'm probably not gonna buy it anyway.
Yeah, it's like I'm not super hot on the game, and like it's awful timing for them. That sucks.
I am not, and you know what? I'll admit, I mean, I'm not insulted. Like, I don't know,
no, I'm not.
I don't think a lot of people are. Like, I don't think a lot of people actually are. Not to speak for other people, but.
No, I don't think there's a lot of people who are insulted about it. I think what I've heard is exactly what me and Jean-Luc kind of voiced, which is like, it is a very unfortunate timing in the current climate, and like that's all we like. Not shame. You can't necessarily say like shame on you for doing this because everyone else has done this exact thing. Everyone, movies have done this exact thing. Games have done this exact thing.
They were just the unfortunate people that happened to be doing it when this thing happened.
Exactly. Yeah. It is just. It seems very tone deaf and shitty, when in reality it's like, we've been developing this for like 3 years. Whoopsies.
Bad. Battlefield 4.
Battlefield.
It's like when when Metal Gear 2 came out in 2001, and the end of that game is Arsenal Gear crashing into New York, toppling down multiple buildings. They had to cut a whole cutscene from that game where Arsenal Gear crashes through all these skyscrapers, knocking them down because of 9/11. Like, that was terrible timing on their part. And so that
and that's
game
just, like,
has this weird, like, the game, well, like, the game just, like, shows Arsenal Gear moving in the water, and then it just cuts to all of a sudden you're in, like,
in the ruins of a city.
Yeah, you're just in the ruins of the city on top of a building. I forget what the building was. And then you're just like, okay, what happened?
That's hilarious.
Just bad timing.
I want to see that. I want to see that cutscene. You know.
Oh yeah, I hope it's somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be cool. Matt, anything else?
Yes. So my what game of 2015 is Crackdown 3. I saw on the list.
Is that coming out?
On Wikipedia, which maybe is, I don't know, if you want to search Giant Bomb and see if what they're saying about Crackdown 3, Wikipedia says it's slated to come out 2015.
Oh.
I didn't know that was happening, and so when I saw that, I didn't, well, I think I heard about Crackdown 3.
They showed a CG trailer.
So when I saw that, I was like, oh, okay. I think it's probably going to be...
All Crackdown 3 needs to do is everything that 2 did wrong, just get rid of that and just do 1 again.
Yeah, that's fine. Totally, yeah.
I think it's an Xbone exclusive, though, so that's why it's in my what category of what? There are certain games where
it's a Microsoft Studios game, so...
Yes, yeah. So there are certain games where I'm kind of excited for them to come out so I can see how they're received. There are certain games that I know I'm I could buy it and maybe enjoy it, but there's some games I almost like watching and seeing what happens to them. You know what I mean? Where it's I'm probably I guess I could buy this thing and play it and but I'd almost rather just kind of see that's a game where my hype for Crackdown 1 does not hold resolve. A decade later? How many fucking years later did that game come out? Where I'm gonna buy a console for Crackdown 3. You know what I mean? So I'm very interested to see if they keep the promise of Crackdown 1, or the good shit from Crackdown 1 in this game that Crackdown 2 apparently kind of flopped about and fucked up.
Matt, this is more for you, I think. I think you enjoyed this game a lot. Something I think you might be excited about, maybe not. Advanced Warfare DLC stuff came out today, or not today, but some information on their new DLC, the Havoc DLC. It's going to be the Zombies DLC pack. So.
Oh, that's awesome! All right, I'll definitely check that out. I need to play more of that game. It's so good in what it does that it's so Call of Duty. It's just other I don't know. I think Dota is just my fucking kryptonite. Where seriously, every time I think about just sitting down with a good shooter, and I like Battlefield 4. I like the new Call of Duty. I these are good games that I kind of want to dig into their multiplayer and get really sick into. Right? Just be yeah, I'm a fucking COD pro. But every time I think about doing that, I'm or I could play Dota, and that doesn't mean those games are bad. It just means Dota has me by the fucking throat.
Yeah, it's like I can sit down and I can be oh man, the way Dota has been for the past few months with this,
they
with
keep
the
doing things
patch,
to it. They keep
just I could sit down and know that my game of Dota is going to be 45 minutes plus.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. That's awesome. And I'm into it the whole time.
Yeah. And they keep doing things to it. This past year, they've been fucking on point with mixing up that fucking game and that meta. And that happened. I feel that must happen after every TI, where they're let's take a hammer to it. And you know what I mean? And then then they have to settle it by the fucking time the next TI comes out. So in the next 2 months, it will the kind of changes will settle, and then TI excitement, and then TI it happens, and then fucking, changes.
The game is a different game for the next year,
Yes, yeah, and that's like, it's crazy to kind of say that, but it's the same way that like football almost works, where like they might change a rule, and then all the coaches go back to, like, and it's just like a slight variation on that rule, right? Where like then all the coaches go back to the thing, and they're like, all right, well, how can I work this with my plays and my strategy and how these it's just, that game is fucking, Dota 2. When are we gonna do our Dota cast?
When I'm not on it.
I think we're gonna.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I don't care about Dota.
It's just you and me.
All right, so Jean-Luc, I'm all good.
Okay. Yeah, there's actually quite a bit that I didn't get to, so we can talk about those. Immediate future coming out. They're doing the HD update to that Resident Evil GameCube remake.
Oh yeah, I totally don't know because I don't play Resident Evil games.
Yeah, so I love Resident Evil 4 and I love 4 and 5 and I hated 6, but I actually never played like the earlier tanky controls, fixed camera Resident Evils before, and I actually just recently over the winter break decided to replay the original PlayStation 1 Resident Evil. I actually really enjoyed it. I think that game totally holds up if you like those kind of games. So I was like, oh, awesome, and then I want to play the remastered one because I think it just looks beautiful. Even to this day, like that game looks really good.
Yeah.
So there's that. They're doing that Saints Row expansion, Gat Out of Hell. It's coming out like next week. I hope that's good. I like Saints Row 4.
I like that they're still fucking expanding that game.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, they're doing like a full-on expansion.
Like, people loved Saints Row 4, and I'm glad that they're still supporting it like that.
Yeah,
I have such a good memory of Saints Row 4 just going to the black and white town, like the old, like the 50s town, and just walking around. And I made my guy like obscenely fat and like wearing underwear, and like he's just walking around like I thought it was so funny. Like
I love that. I love that game. So hopefully that'll be pretty good. I'm excited for that. Kirby Rainbow Curse. It's a Wii U version of Canvas Curse, which was one of the. It wasn't a launch game for the DS, but it was. It was like the first DS game that I played that I was like, holy shit, this DS is fucking awesome. Where, like,
I love Canvas Curse.
Yeah, Kirby Canvas Curse is so cool. I like the stylus and you're using it to kind of roll Kirby around the level. So it's just that, except everything's made out of clay. And if you have not seen this game, go look up a trailer. Like when I saw Epic Yarn, and you're like, how the hell did they make everything look like yarn? But it's a video game. They did the same thing with clay. It looks unbelievable. And I'm like, I don't know how you did that, but it's insane looking.
That kind of art gets me super excited too, because like I'm used to, I make a lot of stuff that is hyper, trying for hyper realism and video game art and stuff because it's, very marketable, obviously, and like I like that kind of stuff. Like Far Cry 4 is my fucking jam. Games like that look amazing, realistic, are awesome, but like seeing studios take on these new art stuff, it's so nice to see that kind of presented to gamers in a way, because like you have this idea that like all gamers are basement dwellers, and that's not true for everybody, obviously, and most people aren't like that. You know what I mean? That's just the stereotype of video gamers that is pervasive and shitty.
And like, it's that's a whole different can of worms. I'm not going to go into that.
Yeah, it's largely video gamers aren't like that, but yes, there's a minority that people think of all gamers, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, and.
But so, sorry.
I hate that. Kyle
Bossman
made me hate the word gamer, so I hate hearing it now.
Yeah, so
I'm with you. Yeah.
I only mentioned that kind of idea of gamers to be like, I like that it's like presenting different art style-y things to this audience that I guess you don't typically think of getting these kind of different cultural cachets in terms of art styles, like
yeah.
I like that they're kind of bringing, different kind of things like that to people.
Yeah, that's what I like about Kirby, is that Kirby's like the weird lab rat for Nintendo, where they're like, we got this weird idea, but it doesn't really fit with any of our existing games. Like, fuck it, Kirby can do it, because Kirby can do whatever. It's the Game Boy, it's Tilt and Tumble. It's Kirby Tilt and Tumble now.
I have a story.
All right.
This a couple weeks ago, I was sitting down, and my friend Dylan booted up Jak and Daxter, the original for PS2.
Okay, yeah, original Jak and Daxter.
And this is he does a fresh start. He's playing it in the beginning, and I'm just looking at all the character design. I'm looking at Daxter's human form, and just like all the natives of like the areas and stuff like that. And I'm like, this is just absolutely phenomenal. And I'm like, and this is because they couldn't do really, with early PS2 and PS1 and
make it look
you couldn't make it ultra realistic, so you went as fucking insane and creative as you could, and it was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't see that anymore.
Yeah, you don't see that so much anymore.
It's definitely making a renaissance, so I think we're coming into it right now. Where studios are realizing again that people like varied art styles.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, games like that, Psychonauts looks like. I mean, all the characters in that look fucking crazy.
Yeah, I played that recent. I want
to play Psychonauts again now.
Psychonauts still looks pretty fucking cool. Like I played that.
Double Fine. Double Fine still makes games like that.
Yeah.
They don't make games that look realistic. They make games that look weird and crazy and awesome.
Yeah. And I don't want to say like they make games that look like video games. They make games that have all games have artists who are talented, awesome people, obviously, but like they distinctly set out to make something different and interesting, and that's an admirable thing to do.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Okay. So they are doing Mortal Kombat X is coming out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a huge Mortal Kombat fan. I used to play Mortal Kombat 2 as a kid all the time in the arcade. I loved Mortal Kombat 9, and so they're just like, hey, we're continuing that. I'm really interested to see some of the stuff they're doing with that. It looks great. I think it'll look really good on the new consoles, so I feel like there's not much more else to say to that. Just I'm really excited for that game.
Yeah.
Batman, new Batman is coming out.
Oh, Arkham
Knight. I'm excited for it. I feel like I would be more excited for it if they hadn't put out Origins 2 years ago.
Yeah, no,
I feel like they did a disservice to that game by putting that other one out.
I played Asylum. I didn't play any others.
Arkham Asylum is still the best in my opinion, largely because I actually prefer the smaller layout of the island as opposed to the bigger city. Like I feel like everything feels more tighter and memorable in the Asylum.
Joker,
personally.
Joker was so good in that. That was Mark Hamill, right?
Yep. And City, he was really good in City as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not particularly interested. Amelia, did you care about Mighty Number 9? Was that you? Okay. I remember somebody I know was really interested.
I'm excited for that.
Okay, well that's coming out.
Because I forgot about that. I'm pretty excited for that because I've tried to get into those Mega Man games, and like I could probably just put more time into them and actually get better at them, but I think that's going to be a fresh take on the Mega Man type of games, and people who are really love Mega Man and really good at Mega Man, they're like, it's not Mega Man. It is a new kind of take on Mega Man. It's a more modernized version. It's still hard. It's still challenging, so I really want to get into that and see how they've refined Mega Man as a genre and kind of brought it into the new world.
The only are the Battle Network games, and man, did I play every single Battle Network game for Game Boy. I was addicted to Battle Network. I loved it. Couldn't stop. So that's all I have to say about that.
Pop until
you don't know what Battle
stop.
Network is. Battle Network was like 6x6 battle arenas, but with you would play different cards for different types of attacks and stuff. You would fight different enemies, and there was an element of strategy, and you get more and more chips. They're called chips, and they would shuffle like a deck, and it was super fun. Oh my god, I want to play right now. Oh, stop.
Okay, Axiom Verge. Have you guys heard of Axiom Verge?
Nope.
No.
Okay, you should go look up Axiom Verge. It is this guy is basically making a Metroidvania game, but it aesthetically looks like the old Metroid games, like that real gross organic thing. It looks fucking awesome. And it actually looks like also he has a lot of stream stuff where he's been showing it off. And it looks like he's trying to do some interesting things with it. Like it's not just a clone of Metroid or anything, but everything about that game just appeals directly to the things I like about video games. So I'm like really excited for that one. The second half of Broken Age is coming out. I just want that. I just want to see what happens because Broken Age was really good. I want to see how that story ends. It had a really good cliffhanger. I don't know. You guys didn't play Broken Age, did you?
I didn't play Broken Age, but the more of Broken Age I see, the more I want to play it.
You should definitely play it. It's really good. So that there is.
Matt, did you play Broken Age? No.
I haven't played Broken Age. I guess I was just gonna kind of wait for the second one to come out, and then I guess I would. But it does look interesting to me, and like, yeah.
Okay, Mario Maker? Huh? Mario Maker? Like, if that game works, it'd be fucking awesome.
I don't have such a huge cachet with Mario, I guess. I didn't have a Nintendo until the Wii, which my family just got because of Wii Sports.
Okay, but just the concept of...
People making... That's very...
you being able to make your own Mario level is like... As like a kid, I always was like, man, what if you could do this? And so, like, that's just... It's like, if it works,
people make some pretty awesome things.
I think my only... And it looks like they have the different tile sets for, like, here's one, here's three, and here's world. Yeah?
I was going to say it relies too much on other people.
It does, Maker. But I'm totally okay with that because those people exist. Absolutely. I have no problem thinking those people will definitely be there.
But I have a fear. There's always the inherent fear of what if those people don't show up to the scene.
I think they will. It's Nintendo. It's Nintendo. It's Mario. Those people will show up. Absolutely.
I can't imagine them not.
There are still people making Little Big Planet levels to this day.
I'm watching this Axiom Verge trailer. I want this game.
Yeah, right? Yeah, and the music's really good, too.
I think I had a really cool Mario Maker idea. I wonder if there's a way in it so that you can... You know how... Desert Golfing?
Yeah.
Desert Golfing is this game on iPhone and Android. You just golf into a hole, and you keep golfing into holes, and just keep constantly ticking on your thing. What if you had someone like crazy on Mario Maker who's like, fucking, I made 5,000 checkpoint one Mario level, and like you fucking you keep doing checkpoints, right? And like between the checkpoints, however you die, because there's obstacles and shit. It's not just walking point. So however they do it, like it counts your deaths, and it's just like fucking 5,000 levels of trying to do the best that you can on this fucking like not endless, but someone made 5,000 check. That would be cool, right?
That'd be interesting. I don't know if the game would be able to do that.
Right. That's cool. Like, can the engine handle it? And also, I wish I cared enough to do that, because then I would, but I'm not a level designer.
Yeah, like I don't know. They haven't shown enough of the game, so it's like, hey, can you have like warps? Can you have secret worlds? Can you make basically like a tile set where it's like, well, this world links to this, and there's a warp zone and all that stuff. Also, they keep showing that like at any point you could switch the art style, and that worries me because every Mario game has a very specific physics to it. Like the jump is very specific to that game. So if they're all just tile swaps, that means the physics are just one physics set, and that will just fuck everything up.
Yeah.
Because you're just like, oh, the physics are wrong. So like they can't do that. It has to be like, this game's physics with this tile set. Or you could or if you want, you could get fucking weird where it's like, I want 1's physics on 3's tile set. But even then, it's like, I think it has to have the proper physics for that to actually work properly.
Yeah.
So I hope they do that. Persona 5 is supposed to come out this year. I'm really excited if it does, because I really want that game, because I love Persona. I don't really have anything else to say about it, because they've shown so little of it, but I'm really excited for that. Have you ever heard of this game called Quadrilateral Cowboy?
Yes. That I can talk about. I've played.
It's made by 30
I played Quadrilateral Cowboy 3 years ago.
I played it 2 years.
2 years ago. Sorry.
Yes.
I want Quadrilateral Cowboy, and I don't know why it didn't come out yet. I thought it was supposed to be out.
I don't know. They're still working on it. That game looks really cool. The idea is that you like rig up heists, and you have to hack your way into it.
You type in like actual
it's like pseudocode basically. Yeah. You're typing in real pseudocode to like hack stuff. That's great. Yeah, it's Splendid. It's the guys who made 30 Flights 11, which is a good game as well. So you should play that. I think that does it for games that I'm sure are coming out. Zelda. Zelda's supposed to come out this year. I don't believe them. I think it's going to be pushed back to next year.
I have like zero. Again, lack of Nintendo in my life. When I had 3DS, I played the new Link Between Worlds, which was really, really, really cool. But I have zero cash. I've never played a 3D, like a real, you know what I mean, like the 3D Adventure Zeldas. Never played them, so it's just.
I love them.
Jean-Luc, was the Wind Waker inspired open world game that you were thinking of called A Hat in Time?
No. No.
Well, I sent you that.
It wasn't Wind Waker inspired. It just some of the screenshots felt reminiscent of like a really good looking Wind Waker to me. You
should go on that page that I just linked you in the chat there on the Google thing.
I'll definitely have to check that out.
The Kickstarter. Well, yeah, look at some of those things while we're talking here.
So yeah, I'm really excited about the new Zelda, but I don't think it'll come out this year.
No, me neither. They said Star Fox was going to come out before that, right?
Well, they said, they're like, yeah, we got the new Star Foxes coming out before Zelda, and Zelda's still coming out this year. They haven't even shown Star Fox yet at all, except for, like, behind closed doors. Majora's Mask is coming out next month, 3DS, and I'm very excited for that one, because I have never fully played through Majora's Mask, so now's my chance to do it.
I don't even know what
That's
those
my favorite
words
game,
mean. So. More like
Majora's Mask is my favorite.
Another word with an M that wouldn't be appropriate.
Yep. Yeah.
They haven't confirmed it. They haven't confirmed it, but I'm guessing that
that out of the podcast
is gonna maybe come out this fall.
Mm-hmm.
Is my guess. That makes sense.
Wait, what game?
Uncharted 4.
More like Funcharted more.
I mean, yeah, totally.
Be good.
On one hand, I can't see it being delayed. On the other hand, I can. So.
I can see it delayed, but I could also. It's like Microsoft or PlayStation doesn't really have anything else to put out this fall right now. So.
E3's coming up.
Yeah, hopefully they announce some stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Every time I think about this summer, I get like my heart skips a beat because I'm graduating, and that means I'm gonna be homeless.
Dude, you and me, we'll be homeless together.
Nate said he's excited for Source 2.
That's like the engine?
Yeah, that'll be cool.
It's already out.
No.
Pretty sure it is. I thought they already put out Source 2.
I thought that I saw some weird footage from like the editor of it, but like I don't think it's. If it would be available, I feel like I would know more.
I'm pretty sure they like soft launch Source 2.
If it is, then I don't know why more people aren't. Wait a minute. Maybe they did. I don't know. No, wait a minute.
No, Source 2 isn't out yet.
I don't think it is because they're gonna let people do some cool like creating like you're gonna be able to make like stuff for Dota that isn't character related, like environment stuff and the shop stuff and stuff for Roche. You know what I mean? Like environment stuff. And I wanted to do some of that because that would be awesome to sell that and put that on the workshop. And that's definitely not around, or else I would have heard about it. To make stuff. There would be more.
Source 2 is not out. After a quick Google search too, just to reassure, it's
just wrong and we hate him.
Okay, no, what it was they did an alpha release of the Dota 2 workshop tools with the entirety of the game's code and assets poured over into a new engine, leading many to speculate on a possible soft release of Source Engine 2.
Okay.
According to Wikipedia.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. People thought that basically what happened was that Dota 2 got ported over to Source 2.
Did it?
Yeah.
It kind of, but not really.
Yeah, it's like it's running on a different engine than it was initially. Nate said he's also excited for GTA 5 for PC, but I mean, like,
It just got delayed.
Yeah.
Did it really?
Yeah, it just got delayed apparently. Ed was crying about it.
Yeah. I don't have any, like, I don't know, like, I like playing GTA Online, like, GTA 3, I guess, online with my friends. Is that, or GTA 4? GTA 4, I guess.
GTA 4. 3
Yeah,
has
I
a
liked that.
modding, I think San Andreas has an online mode on the PC that's like a modding community.
Yeah.
Kind of mod.
It's okay. San Andreas has SAMP, which is San Andreas Multiplayer. My roommate back at Champlain, it was huge into the SAMP scene. That like him and his friends have like YouTube videos of them like that they made it like music videos in SAMP. So
Really weird.
It's pretty great.
yeah, like they were like really it's really weird. They were really.
So I'm pretty much out of games to talk about.
What about, you have any possible disappointments?
I mean, you guys talked about most of them. I guess the only other thing is I would like to see some sort of more footage or announcement of the new Mass Effect game from BioWare,
Okay. Yeah.
or maybe their new IP they're working on. I just want to see what they're working on next, because I like Mass Effect a lot, but I don't think anything's actually coming out this year at all. Hopefully, it's like E3 or something. They just show something cool. Also, more Mirror's Edge 2. I want to see that game.
Oh yeah, they showed like we've made some objects.
They showed like nothing of that game.
People were like, man, EA brought it, but at the same time,
EA didn't bring shit to E3
because stuff wasn't like finished. Well, not even finished, but like it was like so far in development that it's like it's gonna be awesome, but we can't show you any of it.
EA brought like a bunch of like short 1 minute internal documents.
I'm excited for the future
we're
of
making
those
a video
things.
game.
Yeah.
We just started coding yesterday.
When is a AAA developer gonna make what's the kind of thing you read? An alpha game that you pay for to play, an early access game. When is a AAA developer gonna say we're doing early access? Like, I mean, like Ubisoft. I mean, like EA. When is?
I bet you Valve would do it.
Yeah. I guess Blizzard's kind of doing it, but not.
Blizzard's always done that though, and it's different.
Yeah,
Blizzard has
they are
just
paid things. Really,
Blizzard doesn't have early access games. They just have betas and alphas that last for like years. Yeah. And they've been doing that forever.
I guess I'm looking for like when is like the next. I don't know if Call of Duty will ever do this, but like when is one of these companies gonna like hop on the? We've got this cool experimental idea, and we want to see if people are, you know what I mean? Because I think that honestly, like, if they wanted to make a new IP, but it's a huge risk, and they don't know if they can pull it off, and they need a bunch of I could see, I don't know, I feel like they could, like, why couldn't AAA do a successful thing with that? And like, I know it's because of like how publishers pitch to their marketers and stuff, but like,
yeah, I feel like there's shareholders and all this other stuff. There's too many people.
Right. But like, there's just I don't know. There's got to be some way that they could finagle that, because I feel like if you're able to beta test millions of people that paid and show that they want your game, and then you can actually refine it and put it out for a real sale that isn't like if they just did it digitally and then they're like, okay, here's the actual sale where everything's coming to the storefront, like at GameStop and shit, and that's where you get all your money. So like, I feel like Emilio's just fucking. Sorry, you lagged for like 2 minutes if you were trying to talk.
No,
Emilio?
I'm here.
Okay.
It's 8 o'clock here, so everyone's using the internet.
Okay, good.
Well, we're sort of out of stuff anyway.
Yeah,
I feel like we've covered everything.
Let's wrap it up.
Is there any closing? Is there?
Well, I mean, we originally we were talking about like we'll make these short, maybe like 20 to half an hour. This is we've been going for like 2 hours or something.
Yeah, this is gonna be like a 2. This is gonna be like
this is our debut.
And this is a big one. We gave ourselves a pretty open-ended topic.
I'm kind of glad we didn't get that many more people on here because we could go for a while.
Yeah. Also, I feel like we gotta say all our stuff now, so we don't. We got it all out in the open up front. I feel like. So.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you guys want to say as a whole? Like to wrap it up, is there anything as a whole that you want to see? Not just like I want, Jack and Daxter. I want, the industry as a whole. Is there anything you want to see come out of gaming this year as the umbrella? Like anything, any hopes you have for the industry as a community?
Finished products.
What do you, as I ask for large developers to give us early access, finish your games.
Rough drafts are not acceptable.
Well, yeah, as $60 games, yeah, what is happening?
Master Chief Collection didn't work for any of the time I got to use it.
I don't know what's going on with that. It's just like, it's some kind of craziness that oh my god! All right, we can talk about that. Yeah, but finishing.
Yeah, we'll talk about
products.
We'll talk about unfinished products in the future.
Yeah, we could have another episode about unfinished products and that. John Luke, is there anything?
I want somebody in the game industry to give me a job because I'm graduating college. That'd be great.
That's not a greater hope.
I think that's a hope. I'm hoping I get a job, so I'm not homeless with you, Matt.
Me too. I guess. Hold on, wait.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't really have anything. I mean, yeah, games should work.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope they're good. I mean, I feel like I hope there's good games because I feel like the last 2 years have been. I wouldn't say it's.
I would say 2013 was pretty good.
But it still wasn't a standout year for me. Like I feel like ever since 2007, there's been this every year there's a game you could be like, that was a fucking amazing game that came out. Like there's always that kick-ass game. In 2013, 2014, well, I wouldn't say they were terrible. They were definitely good games. There wasn't that amazing kick-ass holy shit that changed my life game.
2013 had some.
Okay, you know what? 2013 had Last of Us, so I take that back.
Last of Us, Gone Home. There were indies were we're officially fucking here. Gone Home, what's up? And AAA Last of Us, what the fuck's up?
Okay, 2013 no, but 2014 was kind of.
2014 was which is sad because I hate to say nothing good came out last year.
No. Good things came out, but nothing was I'm going to remember that one for years, or it's going to become a new classic. You're just that was pretty good.
The Last of Us was this kind of crazy thing that happened that was this game kind of came out of nowhere. It was a new IP, and it finished the generation out with boom, that was fucking the 360 PS3 generation. Did you like it? Because it was tight.
It was.
If I had played Dungeon of the Endless, or if I had gotten it towards the end of the year, it would have been on my Game of the Year list.
I honestly feel like well, the thing is, it's still in development, it's still not technically out, so I might just save it until it's officially released.
It is so good.
It's Dungeon of the Endless is tight, and no one talks about it I don't know why. I think it's because that studio, that company makes those other Endless series that are actually kind of closer to AAA, big 3D games. But that's a really crazy good indie. That's a really cool, good, awesome thing.
I thought it was done.
I don't think so. I think it's still definitely. I'm pretty sure it's still chugging along in the whatever it's called.
It says all my Steam prices are in euro. It's weird.
That's fun. I guess my hope of 2015, I'm gonna steal that again from another I'm sorry. If they're never gonna watch any of my podcasts, the McElroy brothers. But if they ever do, they're gonna realize how many jokes I'm just I love the McElroys. They're gonna hate me. And they're not gonna watch anything I do ever again.
You're gonna go up to them and say hi, and they're like, "Oh, I know you. You're that guy."
You're that dick who stole my jokes.
And then
that dick.
And then as Griffin's saying that, Justin's gonna lean down and then
stab me.
Travis is gonna push you. He's gonna push maneuver.
We got fanboy Matt.
I'm your biggest fan.
Gonna schoolyard bully you.
Schoolyard bully me, and I'm like, this is hilarious. Ow.
Yeah, and then they'll stab you. Yeah, just pull a gun.
Then I'll just get.
Did I spell my name right? I can't tell.
Emilio Fornatore. Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I'm so tired. It's only 8:30 here, but I've been going to bed so early. I'm exhausted.
All right. So my big thing, I don't even know how to summate this. I think this past year with what happened in the game industry. Aside from companies and the culture, the companies, there is this huge games coming out and finished and broken and fucked, and the culture with realizing, like, hey, we're not all the same kind of nerd. We are different people who have different concerns. The culture war of America was basically brought to video games, right?
Sure, yeah.
I hope that in 2015, people realize that, like, you can just, like, fucking not actually want to murder each other and have different feelings about something. Just like...
Oh, God. I don't even want to talk about, like, culturally what happened in video games this year.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like that's gone now, right? Like, it's not gone, but, like, it's...
Where, like, everyone's just, like, puffed out. Where, like, there's this huge... Maybe it was just, like, building for years and I didn't see it, right? Maybe there's just this big... And then 2014 is like, zombie! Like, oh, no.
Yeah, and hopefully everyone's just too busy passed out right now and we don't have to worry about it for a bit.
Yeah, I hope that 2015 is a year of...
I'm over it.
Yeah, just...
I think everyone's over it. It's just exhausting. Just everyone wants a break from it.
Yeah,
I want everyone to just fucking be happy, but I know it can't.
No, really, just wants everyone happy.
And, like, people... That's the thing is, like, people can say things and have concerns about stuff that, like, on both sides, like, you can have concerns about things, and it doesn't mean that you hate video games or hate the other people. That should be understood, everybody. That shouldn't have to be explained. Everyone can have their opinion and eat it too. It doesn't make everyone the worst or everyone the best.
And we can talk about this on another podcast.
Yes. Sorry.
No, I know.
Bring it home, host. Bring it home.
Be nice to each other in 2015. Hold on, I'll bring up the wrap up.
Professional. Very professional.
All right. So, you can find Emilio on Twitter at...
at Emilio Fornatora.
You can find Jean-Luc at Twitter at
Jean-Luc Seipke. It's my name. It's spelled right there. So you just type that in.
You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Twitter at Matt_Klink, or you can find me on my website at MatthewKlink.com if you want to give me a job, but I doubt that anyone who's looking to hire me is watching this, but if you are, hire me. Thank you for joining us. So thank you guys for joining us for our first Bark the Police, the official podcast of the Home Button. Thank you for joining us for Bark the Police.
And for those of us, the three of us that made it, we're the best.
We are the best. We will be back, so let me pimp our things. We'll be back at the same time here next week on youtube.com/homebuttonofficial. You can like us on Facebook. Please do, because then you will see all the things we post. If you like us on Facebook, I know people are on Facebook more probably than on YouTube. Go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/homebuttonofficial. Follow us on Twitch. We're going to do more streaming. Me and Emilio want to stream some Dungeons and the Endless. Jean-Luc's going to stream something this week. I stream generally daily, unless I'm doing a big thing like this, but I'll probably still stream Nuclear Throne daily on the Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/homebuttoncast. Follow us on Twitter at homebuttoncast, and do all those things. Follow us and like us on all those pages, and thank you. So on behalf of Emilio Fornatora, Jean-Luc Seipke, and myself, we'll see you guys next time.
Woo!
All right, and that's it.
Yeah!